Let's dive right in, shall we? Today, we are unpacking what's honestly one of the most fascinating mysteries in the AI ecosystem right now. How on earth does Anomaly Innovations fund a massive developer tool like OpenCode without, selling its soul to big tech? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down the hybrid funding model that practically guarantees true independence in the AI era. And that brings us to the literal million-dollar question. How do you fund cutting-edge innovation without selling your independence? Because historically, open-source creators have faced a pretty grim choice. You either run out of cash and watch your projects slowly fade away into the open-source graveyard, or you get swallowed whole by big tech ecosystems and completely lose control of your original vision. But OpenCode? They actually found a brilliant third way. So here is our roadmap for this explainer. First, we'll look at the funding model itself. Then, Pillar 1, Capital de Risco, or elite backing. Next, Pillar 2, Monetización propia, meaning operational sustainability. And finally, Pillar 3, Independencia tecnológica, which is true tech independence. Okay, Section 1, the funding model, also known as the hybrid approach. To really wrap our heads around this hybrid approach, we first need to look at the brilliant minds behind it, Anomaly Innovations. Now, if that name sounds familiar, it's because they're the exact same engineering powerhouse that built the wildly popular serverless stack framework. So they absolutely know what developers need. And instead of taking one massive check from a single corporate godfather and getting permanently trapped by that company's agenda, they built something different. They combined highly prestigious venture capital investment with robust, self-generated operational revenue. It's basically a structure perfectly engineered to protect their autonomy. Let's move into Pillar 1, Capital de Risco, or elite backing. Look, choosing to stay independent absolutely does not mean missing out on elite financial backing. The founders, Jay Wei and Frank Wong, are Y Combinator alumni. And out in Silicon Valley, that's not just some minor resume bullet point. It's the ultimate seal of approval. It immediately signals to the entire market that this team has the grit and the vision required to scale a real-world product that solves actual painful problems. And that incredible pedigree naturally attracted some absolute heavyweights. We're talking about angel investors who basically built the modern internet, the founders of PayPal, LinkedIn, Yelp, and YouTube. Plus, on top of that historical backing, they also secured investment from Peak XV Partners, which you might remember as Sequoia Capital India and CEA. That is a top-tier global fund that's aggressively targeting the booming AI agent market right now. So it's this perfect blend of Web 2.0 veterans and future-focused capital. Moving right along to Pillar 2, Monetization propria, or operational sustainability. Now, VC money is fantastic for accelerating growth, for sure. But let's be real, it runs out fast if you don't have a real underlying business. So unlike those well-intentioned open-source projects that rely on passing around a digital tip jar or waiting and hoping for sporadic sponsorships, OpenCode generates millions of dollars in annual recurring revenue. And honestly, hitting that level of scale makes you essentially bulletproof. You don't have to warp your product roadmap to please a desperate VC because your own customers are validating and literally funding your work every single month. So how exactly are they making those millions? It comes down to 3 really smart value-add tiers. First up, you have OpenCode Zen. This is a pay-as-you-go gateway that completely cures the absolute headache of managing a dozen different API keys. Then there's OpenCode Go, which is a highly accessible $10 a month subscription that gives you super stable access to capable open-source models. And third, enterprise solutions. These are custom corporate plans specifically tailored to sustain massive, large-scale operations. To put that enterprise tier into perspective, just think about a company like Cloudflare. Massive companies are handling highly sensitive proprietary code, and they simply cannot risk exposing that data to third-party AI clouds. There's just no way. OpenCode provides the secure, local data infrastructure they need, complete with enterprise essentials like single sign-on. And large companies are more than happy to pay top dollar for that kind of localized peace of mind and security. Which brings us to Pillar 3, Independencia tecnológica. Technological independence as a market differentiator. You see, all that financial structuring we just talked about, it serves one incredibly powerful purpose: absolute technological agnosticism. It sets up this classic David versus Goliath scenario. There are incredible tools out there right now, like Claude Code, but they are ultimately tethered to specific giants, in that case, Anthropic, which is heavily backed by Google and Amazon. OpenCode, by strict contrast, stays entirely neutral. And that financial independence translates directly to developer freedom, eliminating ecosystem lock-in once and for all. The practical day-to-day result of this neutrality is that you aren't stuck inside some walled garden. Instead, you get this wonderfully vast menu of choices. You have the ultimate freedom to connect OpenAI, Anthropic, Gemini, the highly impressive DeepSeek, or, hey, even run local models entirely on your own hardware using Ollama. It means no matter which AI lab releases the absolute best update tomorrow, you have the power to integrate it instantly into your workflow. What Anomaly Innovations has proven here is that a well-executed hybrid model actually allows you to fund cutting-edge innovation, build highly profitable business, and secure elite Silicon Valley backing, all while keeping the true soul and flexibility of open source alive. The power remains completely in your hands as a developer, fully protected from corporate monopolies. So now that the barriers have fallen and the choice is entirely yours, with the freedom to run absolutely any AI model on the planet, which one will you spin up today?